we said, halftime score, Connecticut 33 and St. Johns 26. If you enjoy listening to Connecticut Husky basketball action and you'd like to write us, get out a pen and a piece of paper. It's WHUS Sports, Box U-8, Stores, Connecticut. The zip is 06268. We love to read your letters, positive or negative, about the Sound Alternative and the sports department. Huskies inbound the ball. Carl Hobbs has it on the far sideline, and Connecticut controls. They're going with their starting lineup, including Bruce Kaczynski, who has 3 personals. Here's Thompson with a jumper, and he hits! Corny Thompson scoring his 9th point of the basketball game, 35-26. Huskies up by 9 points. And Bob Kelly controlling the ball for the Redmen. Kelly walks it across the timeline. Huskies going man-to-man defense. Kelly on the right side, guarded by Norman Bailey. He's about 28 feet out. Passes on top to Billy Goodwin. Back on the right side to Kelly. Kelly looking down low. He's hands it over there to Jeff Allen. Over to David Russell. And Russell is guarded by Cornelius Thompson. Redmen down by 9 points. They have not really taken control of this game at all. Huskies all the way. Here's number 20 down low. Chris Mullen throws up a shot. No good. Rebound Cornelius Thompson. And he needs one more to hit 1,000. This is Norman Bailey. Right side. He has an open lane. He takes a drive, shoots, and no good. Rebound tapped up by Kaczynski twice, and he scores! Kaczynski just tapped it up in the air, and it fell through. Connecticut by 11 for Bruce's first 2 points of the evening. Bob Kelly again walking it through. Luke Harnasek on the floor, yelling and screaming out instructions. Here's Russell from the foul line. No good. Rebound, Norman Bailey. Bailey looks deep. Instead, pass to Hobbs. Hobbs across half court. He's going to slow things up with the advice of Corny Thompson, and the Huskies are looking to blow out St. John's. Carl Hobbs dribbles through his legs, looks on top, looks down low, now passes on top to Bruce Kaczynski. Kaczynski back to Hobbs. Hobbs looking on the right side. Carl drives, bounce past to McKay, top of the key to Thompson. Thompson had a notion to shoot, back to Hobbs at the 3-point mark. Hobbs back to McKay. McKay top of the key, long jumper, no good. Rebound comes to the hands of Chris Mullen, and a foul on Corny Thompson. Crowd reaction not too happy. And it's going to be the first foul in the second half, which makes the first on the Huskies and the second team foul for the Connecticut Huskies. Timeout on the court. A bit of a surprise for the 14,944 paid attendance.
This is UConn's biggest lead of the game, Harold. They had a 32-22 lead in the first half, but now an 11-point lead. And they are playing a fine game on both ends of the court and all facets of the game. 13 rebounds to 12 in the first half, a 1 rebound advantage. They're shooting better, and they're playing good defense as well. And if they keep on playing this way, which we rarely see them play for 40 minutes, but if they do, they're going to have this game won.
Chris Mullen will inbound the ball. St. John's looking for the Huskies to press full court, but UConn will not do so. And the ball comes into the hands of Bob Kelly. Kelly is a junior guard out of South Orange, New Jersey, a transfer from Holy Cross. And he's taking over point guard position. Kelly with the ball on the right side, guarded by Carl Hobbs. Huskies in a 2-1-2. Hobbs and Bailey out top. Kaczynski, Mike McKay, and Corny Thompson down low. This is Billy Goodwin dribbling the ball. He's outside the 3-point mark, slowing things up considerably. Goodwin passing the Mullen back to Goodwin. Now this time right side to Kelly. Kelly dribbles once, picks up his dribble, long jumper from 20, and he connects. Bob Kelly, what do you know? Scores his first 2 points in the game. He had 14 the last time they faced the Huskies, and is now 37-28. Husky lead cut to 9. Hobbs walks things over, yells things out. 4 Huskies lined up along the foul line. Hobbs to the right side, gives it over to Bailey. Bailey left side over to Mike McKay. A little bit of a weave for a second. Now back on top to Hobbs. And again, the Huskies line up. This is McKay. Bounce pass down low to Thompson. Thompson over Russell. Takes a jumper, and it's in, out, and rebounded by number 10. Make that number 11, David Russell. Looked like Kelly was going to get a hand on it, but Russell ripped it away. And St. John's, if they're a little patient, will be able to come to within 7 points with 17 minutes to go if they can connect here. Bob Kelly, right side, over to Billy Goodwin. Goodwin looking down low. Back out to Kelly, now over to Mullen. Mullen from 20, but it's in and out. Rebound McKay. Mike McKay pulls down that board. Hands it over to Hobbs, and Hobbs will start up the Connecticut offensive show. 16:42 to go. Connecticut on top, and a man-to-man defense employed by the St. John's Redmen. This is Thompson, top of the key, left side to Bailey. Bailey looking to drive. Mullen's all over him. Back over to Kaczynski. Kaczynski now drives. At the foul line, jump over Whittington. It's in and out. Rebounded, knocked away. It's on the ground, controlled by Mullen. Mullen taps it over to Allen, who gets it over to Kelly. And Kelly leads a 4-on-3 break. Over to Russell. Russell drives, shoots, and fouled on the play. No basket.
Wild action on both ends of the court as Kaczynski goes down, and it might be his foul. Nevertheless, 2 free throws for Russell. Bailey's going to pick up the foul. Kaczynski took a tumble. Norman picks up the foul, his second, and Russell will go to the line.
On the year, Russell shooting 77%, 81% in Big East play, 0 for 0 in the first half.
16 of 19 on the year against Connecticut.
He hits the first. 37-29, 2 fouls in the second half, both on the Connecticut basketball team. Russell's second, up and no good. Rebound to the hands of Corny Thompson, number 1,000 on his career. Corny picked up that ball, 16-11 to go, and he passes a milestone, even though it's not being accredited over the loudspeaker system. It will probably a little bit later. Thompson down low to McKay, lays it up and in! McKay from Corny Thompson.
Beautiful alley-oop pass to McKay, and we've seen that a couple times, and Corny with the excellent pass to lead McKay very nicely.
15:50 to go. Connecticut 39, St. John's 29. Kelly looking to shoot now over to Russell. Russell driving on Thompson, loses the ball momentarily to Hobbs, and regains control. Back on top to Kelly, who's at the 28-foot mark, and Kelly starts up the offense in motion. Kelly on the right side now, looking down low, gets it over to Goodwin. Turnaround jump, he connects. Billy Goodwin scoring his 10th point. Let me check that. Make that his 13th point. Connecticut 39, St. John's 31. Carl Hobbs with the basketball. Right side over to Norman Bailey. Bailey holding the ball high over his head, down low to Thompson to lose the ball. Does not get called for travel as he looked like he took steps and finally passes in the long lobber back out to Hobbs at midcourt. 15:08 to go. Huskies in control of this game and the crowd behind them. Hobbs right side over to Bailey. Bailey looking down low. A little bit different from the last time these two clubs met when St. John's was on top throughout the whole game and the Huskies had to claw back for a tie and take it into overtime. Kaczynski down low, but he's fouled by Allen. And Jeffrey will pick up his third foul. He has fouled out in the last 2 games the Huskies met St. John's, and he's only fouled out 3 times all year. So the first team foul for the St. John's Redmen, 14:54 to go. Huskies will inbound the ball underneath their own basket, and Carl Hobbs will do the honors. Hobbs, lobber into Thompson. Thompson back to Carl. And St. John's matches up man for man since they're down by 8. Hobbs drives around Thompson. Nice pick set by Corny. Looks to roll. Can't do anything with it. Now Mike McKay gets the top to keep back into Thompson. Thompson in a traffic full of Redmen. Stolen by Kelly. Knocked down Corny. Now the ball is loose on the ground. A couple players spill. And Kelly gets called for the foul as Mike McKay takes a trip.
I was wondering if they were going to call that. McKay was going between 2 Redmen, and Kelly just pushed him over, I believe, David Russell. And he took a big tumble on the ground, but they nailed Kelly for his 3rd foul. And Connecticut gets the ball back.
So, good play. It turns out to be for Connecticut. Corny was triple teamed on that action, and he lost the ball to Kelly. No foul was called. I'm not sure if he was yelling for one. Connecticut has the ball. 14:33 to go. 14,000 fans yelling, "Let's go Huskies." In earlier action today, we've had Villanova, BC, and Georgetown win, all the favorites. Carl Hobbs, far sideline, dribbling the ball with his right hand. That high dribble that Carl's so accustomed to do so. Pass on top to Thompson. Right side over to Michael McKay. McKay takes one dribble, stops over the top of the key to Bailey. Bailey at the foul line now. Pass over to Hobbs, and Hobbs slowing things up considerably. Hobbs to McKay. McKay's at the 3-point mark. Back to Hobbs. 14:02 to go, and Connecticut's just content with looking for the best shot, trying to get someone open down low. Hobbs almost missdribbled. But now he has it. He's guarded by Bob Kelly. Kelly's playing about 7 feet off him. This is Kaczynski. Back to Hobbs. Hobbs now holding the ball. There's a whistle away from the play. And let's see what we're going to have. A foul on Michael McKay on the offense.
McKay and David Russell were going at it hot and heavy under the boards. And another pair that were going at it were Bailey and Mullen as well.
3rd on the team.
Chuck Alexidis will check into the game at the next horn as he's getting set to enter for somebody. Might be Mike McKay, might not. This is Bob Kelly, and St. John's has a chance to close to within 7. And here's Kelly, a long jumper, make that to within 6. The rebound, Goodwin, his shot no good, and there's a whistle and a foul.
The Connecticut lineup, Chuck Alexidis.
Foul, I believe, on Carl Hobbs.
Replacing Bruce.
Alexidis in, Bruce Kaczynski taking a breather. And Bruce getting himself a nice hand. He is kept out of foul trouble here in the second half.
On the team.
Second foul on Hobbs, fourth on the team. Goodwin will go to the line on the game. He's 1 for 2 on the season. He's 81%. Goodwin dribbles twice. Concentrates, shoots, and connects. 13-9 to 32. 13:33 to go. A lot of threes. Goodwin dribbles a few times. Looks, shoots, and misses. Rebound, Mike McKay. So St. John's having all sorts of problems from that free throw line, where they have not done the job, and Connecticut holding on to a 7-point lead. 13.5 minutes remaining in the game. Carl Hobbs, right side. Kelly almost steals the ball. Hobbs now calling for some motion. Over to Bailey. Back to Hobbs. Looking down low. Hobbs holding the ball high above his head. Bouncing the ball on the right side. Gets it over to Thompson. Left side to Norman Bailey. Bailey 20 feet out. Over to Alex Sims from the foul line. Jumper bang! Connecticut 41. St. John's 32. 13:01 to go. And for Chuck, that's his 8th point. He's playing very well in the limited time he has played so far this evening. Bob Kelly dribbling. Right side over to Billy Goodwin. Goodwin back to Kelly. Huskies in a 2-1-2. Now Mullen on the left side. He has not scored in the second half. He takes a jumper, turn around, and he swishes it all. Throwaway jumper. That was pretty. 41 to 34. Mullen scoring his 6th and 7th point of the evening, but he has yet to get hot. Now, he was pretty much the game in the first 2 games versus Connecticut.
And recall, Harold, that Mullen got 5 points, those 5 points in the first half within 30 seconds of each otup.
He's explosive. But now a foul called on number 22, Jeff Allen, his 4th. And Bill Wennington quickly checking in for him. So Allen picked up 4 fouls. He has already had 14 fouls versus Connecticut in 3 games.
Let's check some more statistics for you. UConn with 14 fouls and St. John's with 3. So they're getting even out there. Connecticut had an early lead in the team foul category.
Connecticut looking at inbound. Carl having some problems. Quickly gets it into McKay now, right before the 5-second mark. McKay dribbling out of trouble. Gets it over to Norman Bailey. Bailey fires a pass over to Hobbs at the half-court line. 12:20 to go. Connecticut 41, St. John's 34. Hobbs dribbles between his legs. Top of the key to Alex Sims. Left side to Bailey. Down low to Thompson. Turn around over Russell. No good. Rebound tapped up by Bailey. Rebound tapped up. Tapped up again. And a whistle and a foul on McKay. A lot of action underneath the Connecticut boards, but they're keeping the ball alive. Almost did something with it, but Mike McKay picking up his 3rd personal and the team's 5th. 12:09 to go.
Connecticut's got to hold on here, Harold. They're starting to be a little bit lackadaisical. Corny Thompson's played this whole game, and McKay's played just about the whole game as well. They look like they might be getting tired.
Mullen in traffic, and he connects. Oh, my Lord, over 3 Huskies, 41 to 36. I'm a Chris Mullen fan. Let me tell you, he should have been the Big East Rookie of the Year. This is Carl Hobbs, right side over to Bailey. 41-36, St. John's within 5. Thompson, left side over to McKay. Lobber down low to Alexis. It's knocked away. Controlled by the Redmen. This is David Russell. 4-on-2 break to Goodwin. Down low to Mullen. Bang! Oh, my Lord. Mullen is connected. 6 points in about a minute. And there's going to be a timeout on the court. So St. John's is making their move. Exactly 11.5 minutes to go. It's Connecticut 41, St. John's 38. Back with more Husky action after this.
Following very good defense by St. John's. They knocked it out. It appeared that David Russell might have traveled. That's what the crowd was upset about. But a nice pass underneath to Mullen, who was wide open on the 4-on-2, and he laid it up and in.
Some referees will call that travel if you're jumping the ball while you're walking. Some won't. In this case, none of the 3 on the floor decided to do so. Larry Lembo, Ed Cartolo, and Jack Hannon, the 3 men in the zebra suits. Connecticut with the ball. They have a 3-point lead, 11:23 to go, and Hobbs being guarded by Kelly. Right side to Bailey. Bailey looking to drive. He's right on the right side of the circle now. Bounce pass over to Hobbs at the 3-point mark. Carl Hobbs, who did a fine job in the first half, scoring 8 points, but pretty quiet here in the second half. And now it's Norman Bailey driving on Chris Mullen. Bailey turns, spins, gets it over to McKay. McKay hands it back to Hobbs. And Connecticut, with no motion down low, has not been able to advance to the basket.
Connecticut needs a hoop here. They're up by 3, and they don't want to let St. John's get within 1. This is the closest they've been in quite some time.
Hobbs, lobber down low to Thompson. Thompson trying to cross-court pass, but he's fouled by, I believe, Billy Goodwin. That foul will be the 4th team foul, and Huskies will just inbound the ball for Goodwin. That is going to be personal foul number 2.
35, Billy.
Scores Villanova 88, Seton Hall 73, Boston College in a thriller over Syracuse 94-92, and Georgetown in the blowout over Providence 62-48. Pass comes in, almost stolen. Thompson gets it, passes over to Michael McKay, dribbles out of trouble and hands it over to Norman Bailey. Bailey to Hobbs, and Hobbs at half court is waiting for the crowd to spark the team up. 10:38 to go, 41-38. Huskies on top by 3. Thompson from deep, long jumper, no good. Rebound comes in the hands of Goodwin, and this is what St. John's wants, slowly but surely whittling away at the Connecticut lead. And Bob Kelly pushes the ball over half court, over to Russell. Russell back to Kelly. Huskies manning to man it. And he gets it over to Chris Mullen. Mullen at the three-point mark, straight ahead of the basket. Passes over to Kelly. Kelly looking down low, lobs it over to Russell. Russell drives the lane, jumper, bang, and he's fouled! What a pretty move by Russell! The left-hander just looped one up as he stayed in the air. Bang for 2 and give him 1 from the line. 11 points for David Russell, the number that matches his uniform. 10:31 to go. And Russell has a chance to tie this basketball game up. It's tied. 41-41, 10:13 to go.
St. John's has never led, and the last time it was tied was 0-0. But with 10:06 to go, it's a brand new ball game.
Husky crowd not getting down on the Huskies. They're trying to pep them up. Bailey over to Thompson. Thompson at three-point mark. Over to Mike McKay. McKay over to Bailey. Bailey back to Kyle Hobbs. Less than 10 minutes to go. And this game is taking quite a turnaround as the Huskies had the halftime lead by 7. It is now a tied basketball game. Courtney Thompson over to Norman Bailey. Bailey lobs it down low to Alex Sinnis over Wellington, and it's one-hander's good. 43-41, double digits for Chuck Alexanis, who has 10. And again, it'll be St. John's trying to come from the behind. It's a steal on the play by Norman Bailey. Bailey spins, coming to the right side. 1-on-1 with Kelly. He pulls up for 15. In and out. Rebound, Weddington. Weddington quickly gets it over to Mullen. Mullen will slow things up a bit. And the Huskies had a chance to come up by 4 on the fast break. Nice play by Bailey. He was open. He had the shot. It just missed. 9:08 to go. Kelly bounce pass down low. Gets it to Goodwin. Turnaround jump. In and out. Rebound, Alex Sinnis. Chuck gives it to Hobbs. The crowd is starting to erupt. The Huskies have held. They're up by 2. And they're going on the offense. Hobbs, right side over to Bailey. Bailey gets it over to Courtney Thompson. Thompson holding the ball high. Down to Mike McKay. Alley-oop, no good. Rebound, Weddington. Weddington over to Kelly. Kelly passes it down to Goodwin. Goodwin 3-on-2, right side to Russell, and he's fouled by Courtney Thompson.
The crowd is very upset, and frankly, so am I. It looked like there was a blatant carry by one of the Redmen. I believe it was Bob Kelly as he went down the right side. The ball was bounced way up around eye level by Bob, and they didn't call him. He just pushed the ball over to Goodwin, who eventually got it to Russell, and Russell will go to the free throw line as the Huskies are over the limit.
That's Courtney Thompson's 4th foul. 8:39 to go. Courtney's going to have to watch himself, or he might be fouling out of his last Connecticut basketball game. Russell hits the first, 43-42. We'll say it again, if Connecticut loses, there's going to be a very dim chance of getting an NIT bid. They'll leave 14,944 with sour taste in their mouth. Second shot missed, Courtney with the rebound. So the Huskies hold the 1-point advantage with 8:34 remaining. Carl Hobbs across half court, going towards his left. Pass, top of the key to Bailey. Back to Hobbs, a basket back and forth. St. John's looking to fall back into his zone, but now going back man to man. Hobbs around Kelly, now slowing things up as the referee calling off 5 seconds, but quickly the ball goes over to Thompson. Thompson left side back to Bailey. Bailey bounced past to McKay, almost stolen by Kelly. Right side to Hobbs. Hobbs is wide open from 20. He decides to shoot, and he misses. Rebound, Courtney Thompson. Thompson has the ball stolen by Kelly. Kelly down to Weddington. Weddington down to Mullen. Mullen lays it up and in, but no call as Weddington gets the offensive charge. As Weddington tried to become a guard, a 7-foot guard, Weddington smashed right into, I believe, Carl Hobbs. Make that Norman Bailey.
St. John's lineup.
And Weddington comes up with his second foul, the team's 4th. And so Connecticut will get the ball right back.
That was a big play. St. John's could have taken their first lead, but UConn has it back. And they had a good shot before. Hobbs, he hits those usually, but this time no, and he's got the ball back.
Hobbs to McKay. McKay around midcourt, dribbling around. He's being guarded by Stan Stewart, who entered the game for the first time. And a foul away from the basket. Weddington and Alex Sinnis are giving each other looks to kill, but Chuck will get called for the foul. And they are still staring at each other. This game is getting quite physical.
on the team.
Second foul on Alex Sinnis.
The Husky lineup, Bruce Kaczynski.
And the team over the limit. Kaczynski comes in for Alex Sinnis. He'll calm down a little bit. And Bruce will come in, and Wennington will go to the free throw line.
Wennington on the season shooting 49%, but 71% in Big East play, which is toward the end of the season. And like we said, when he had that haircut, he shot a lot better from the free throw line. And he hits the first. Again, this game is knotted up. Connecticut 43, St. John's 43, 7:41 to go. Thompson, McKay, Kaczynski, Hobbs, and Bailey. Whittington, Russell, Ron Stewart misses the second one. Rebound Thompson, along with Bob Kelly and Chris Mullen. And again, as we said, the game is tied at 43 apiece. Well, Hobbs controlling the UConn white. Going towards his left, bounce pass to Bailey. Bailey looking to shoot, back to Hobbs. Hobbs is 28 football, looking low, passing high to McKay. Back to Hobbs. Hobbs dribbling it now with his high dribbles, back over to Bailey, inside to Thompson. Thompson dribble team, turnaround jumper, no good. Rebound tapped up and in by Bruce Kaczynski. 4 points for the junior from Bristol, Connecticut. Connecticut 45, St. John's 43. And again, it's St. John's looking up and looking at the Husky lead as they have done so throughout the first 34 minutes of this game. Stewart driving, taking a jumper, and he hits it, he's fouled! Stewart, a jumper from 15, and I believe he's fouled by Mike McKay. So now Stewart has a chance to give the Redmen their first lead of the evening.
They've been picking up a lot of three-point play attempts here in the second half, Harold, but on the free throw line, the last 4 free throws, they have only made 2 as a team.
Mike McKay, 4 fouls. Courtney Thompson, 4 fouls. 6:49 to go. And Chuck Alexson is getting set to re-enter the game. The shot is missed. Rebound, Courtney. So those free throws are very, very big. Carnesecca not too happy with them. The game is still tied at 45. Connecticut has the ball, but a lot of players in foul trouble, and this could be very big trouble for the Connecticut team. Kyle Hobbs, right side, pass on top to Bailey, back to Hobbs. The guard's playing with it outside, looking down low, back over to Bailey. And the Huskies trying to get some position, trying to set some picks. So St. John's is playing some man. This is Hobbs, over to Kaczynski. Kaczynski starting to drive, dishes to Bailey. Jumper, banks, no good. Rebound tapped up by Kaczynski, no good. Rebound, Wennington. Wennington pulled that board down, gets it over to Bone, who passes over to Kelly. 6:11 to go. And this game is still tied up, 45-45. Bob Kelly dribbling, Huskies 2-3 zone, bounce pass right side to Mullen. Mullen has not erupted that much in spurts. He's done so 5 in the 30-second period in the first half and 6 in about a minute and a half period in the second half. Here's Kelly, dribbles over to Goodwin at the 3-point mark, facing the basket from the top of the key, top of the circle. Now they're passing it back and forth. Kelly right side to Mullen, back to Kelly, calls out a play, 5:40 to go. Kelly back to Goodwin, left side to Mullen. Mullen fakes, drives, shoots, no good, rebound, and a foul away from the ball as it's going to go on Norman Bailey. And they're saying it's a late call. It's going to get a little booing in the crowd.
The foul was on the shot, and after it hit the rim and missed, then the foul was called. Alex Sinnis comes in from McKay, and Mullen will go to the free throw line, and he is very deadly from the free throw line. And David Russell comes back in for St. John's, replacing Stewart. Ron Stewart, a fine contribution there. He comes in and hits a quick 2 to tie the game up.
St. John's not been doing well from the team from the free throw line, but Mullen is yet to get on the line. Well, he has been on the line 1 for 1. Now he's 2 for 2, and St. John's has taken their first lead of the evening. For Norman Bailey, that's his 3rd foul. Team is over the limit. St. John's has 5 team fouls. Mullen misses the second, rebound Courtney. So St. John's a 1-point lead, 46-45. Hobbs pushing the ball up court. Hobbs stops at about the 30-foot mark. Now he's driving on Kelly. Now dribbling the ball out, gets it over to Kaczynski. Kaczynski top of the key, back over to Hobbs. Hobbs holding the ball high above his head, back to Courtney Thompson. Thompson top of the key, back to Hobbs. Now Hobbs looking to start something up. Passes over to Kaczynski. Kaczynski back to Hobbs. Hobbs lobs it down low to Thompson. Thompson over Russell. Turn around, he hits it, he's fouled. Courtney for 2 and Russell with the foul. Huskies back on top, 47-46.
And that's a big foul as well because it puts St. John's at the limit for David Russell, his first on the evening. And Thompson can put the Huskies back up by 2 here with 5:11 to go.
Courtney will go to that free throw line on the season. Corny shooting 71%, but 77% in Big East play. His shot is up and good. Huskies back on top by 2, 48-46. St. John's controlling. Rob Kelly across half court. Dribbles to his left, gets it over to Goodwin. Goodwin back to Kelly, top of the key, right side to Mullen. Mullen fakes up, drives, fakes up again, throws up a shot, and he hits it over Alex Sinnis. 48-48. Mullen's incredible, 13 points. I've been saying it all game, but he has just shown everything. A steal by Russell. Russell leading a 3-on-2. He drives to the right, goes over Hobbs, shoots, and he's fouled. And Russell came all the way down. The game is tied. He's fouled on the play. A bad play by Norman Bailey, who was stopped up by the St. John's press. He just threw it up for grabs, and Russell came down with it.
First foul on the evening for Carl Hobbs.
I believe that's his third foul.
They called it first on the public address, and indeed they show 3 on the scoreboard.
It is his third. He had 1 in the first half and 2 here in the second half. Russell on the line in the game. He misses. Rebound Thompson. St. John's, if they can hit half their free throws, would be on top. But this game is tied at 48 with 4:34 to go. The team is 3 of his last 8. And now we have some sort of problem. Karnasek, the writer on half court, yelling at the referees. And now we have the assistant coach out there where the crowd's starting to boo. Let's see exactly what they're going to call. Karnasek not too happy. Officials called a little bit of a timeout. Now the Huskies win bound on the far sideline. So whatever was going down on the court, problem is now over. But Karnasek putting on a show for the fans right along the floor.
4.5 to go in the game. Connecticut and St. John's all knotted up at 48. They were 41-41. That was the first tie since 0-0, and it's been close since then.
Bailey dribbling the basketball. Big press coming on by St. John's. Bailey now bounce passing it over to Hobbs. Hobbs left side, bounce pass over to Thompson. Thompson being double teamed, now dribbles out of it, gets it back to Carl Hobbs. 4:08 to go. Hobbs dribbles in traffic, passes over to Thompson. And Thompson bumped for the backside by Chris Mullen. And St. John's is now over the limit, so Corny will go to the free throw line.
So both teams over the limit, 4:04 to go. St. John's has not used the fact the Connecticut's over the limit. They have not used that well. 3 of 8, their last 8 free throws here since the score was tied at 41. Corny goes to the line for 1 and 1. He just hit on the 3-point play a little over a minute ago. Let's see if he can hit a couple more free throws here.
48-48, Corny looks, shoots, and scores. Huskies have only been down once in this game, and that was by 1 point. For Corny, that's his 13th point. And he's playing a fine game this evening. Corny dribbles again, shoots, and hits again. 14 for the senior from Middletown, Connecticut. Huskies fighting for their lives. The winner of this will advance to play Georgetown. This is tomorrow evening at 9 o'clock. Here at the Hartford Civic Center, 50-48. St. John's controlling the basketball. Mullen along the baseline. Out top to Kelly. Kelly back to Mullen. Mullen drives towards the middle. Takes a jumper from 20. It's in and out. No good. Rebound Whittington. He drives, shoots, and he's fouled. And let's see who's going to go against him. It's Bruce Kaczynski. That's his 4th.
Looks like it's going to be against Bruce. He is upset with himself. Corny Thompson gives him a pat on the back and says that's all right. Join the crowd because Thompson and McKay both have 4 fouls. But Michael's on the bench getting a rest. He'll be coming in pretty soon, I expect.
3 Connecticut Huskies with 4 personal fouls. 3:45 to go. Whittington will be shooting 2. He hits the first, 50-49. The Husky lead cut to 1. Whittington was 1 for 2 before. He's looking to shoot his second free throw. And he hits. The game's again knotted. 50-50, 3:45 to go. If the Huskies were Georgetown, or they had the players of the Georgetown caliber, they'd probably hold out for the last shot. Now this is Carl Hobbs. Hobbs, the only one of the 5 starters who can really dribble that basketball. Back to Bailey, over to Hobbs. Hobbs dribbling in traffic, now taking a jumper from 10, and he misses. Rebound tapped up, controlled. Now knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Mullen. And Chris is not too happy.
He had that ball in his hands, but he couldn't do anything about it. And now Tom Perno wants a timeout. So can't be much closer than this. 50-50, 3:25 to go in the second half. And we'll be back right after this. Turning into a foul shooting match here, so to speak. St. John's, of their last 9 points, has had only 4 from the field and 5 from the free throw line. Going 5 of 10 from the free throw line, while Connecticut, since the score was tied at 41-41, is 3 for 3 from the foul line. Plus, they've had a few more buckets themselves. So each team scoring 9 points here in the past 7 minutes. It's gotten very defensive.
So what do you expect to see from these two teams coming out for the last 3:25?
Well, I'm sure we're going to see the teams go back to the free throw line. Let's see if Corey Thompson can hang in there. He's hung in there now with over 5 minutes with 4 fouls. Mike McKay is back into the lineup. He also has 4 fouls. Bruce Kaczynski 4 fouls. So that entire front line, if they can stay in the rest of the way, UConn's in good shape.
And I'm sure Carnesecca is going to try to keep the ball down low, try to get it to Russell or Wennington or Goodwin and have them drive on the big men.
Alex Sinnis is out, and McKay is in for him.
Ball comes into Corey Thompson on the inbounds. They're at their own bench, or their own basket. And the ball is handed over to Hobbs, and the Huskies will start up on the offense. 3:16 to go. Connecticut controlling the ball. Maybe Don Perno said, let's hold it for the last 3 minutes. We don't know. We'll see exactly what's going to happen. Hobbs has it. There was a wide open Bruce Kaczynski. No, steal by Munn. Ball down to Kelly, and he lays it up and in. And St. John's with their biggest lead of the night, 52-50. Bad play by the Huskies as they just threw it right into the hands of Chris Mullen. Now they're half-court trapping press by St. John's. This is Hobbs over to Bailey. Back to Hobbs. Right side. Open jump for 20, and it's no good. Rebound Wennington. They forced the Huskies to quicken up the pace that Connecticut could not do it. This is Goodwin driving, shooting, no good. A charge. Goodwin gets called for the charge. As lucky he did so, one of the Husky front linesmen would not be in this game. But St. John's forced the Huskies to quicken up the tempo of the game. They came right back trying to catch the Huskies sleeping, could not do so.
Chuck Alexinis back in for Bruce Kaczynski now. Evidently, we're going to see this back and forth business with Alexinis coming in on the offense and Kaczynski coming in on the defense. Here in the last 2:38, Connecticut finds themselves down by 2. This is only the second time they've been down all game. They were down 46-45, but they climbed back into the lead, now down by 2, and they've got the ball.
Carl Hobbs will start it up for the Connecticut Huskies. 2.5 minutes to go. Hobbs across half court. Almost double team. Quickly now, Sinnis back to Hobbs over to Bailey. Bailey did not travel. Drives, shoots, and scores. Looked like Norman almost traveled, but he did not. 52-52. 6 points for Storm and Norman. 2:15 to go. And Bob Kelly across half court. 2-3 zone defense. Defense. Yells the 14 foul plus on hand. Mullen left side over to Goodwin. Goodwin left side over to Russell. Back to Goodwin. Right side over to Kelly. Kelly looking low. Back to Goodwin. Bounce pass to Russell. He drives on Thompson. Shoots. No good. Rebound McKay. Looking to foul out Corey Thompson. It did not happen. 1:48 to go. And the Huskies are going to spread it out. Possibly shoot for the last shot.
They did it in the first half from this point, Harold, at minute 45, and they held it, but they missed the shot.
Thompson over to McKay. McKay being guarded by Kelly. Back over to Corey Thompson. Thompson holding the ball, quickly getting it back and forth to Bailey a few times. Redmen are playing man-to-man, but they're slacking off on their men considerably. 1:24 to go. This is Bailey. Right side, Alex Sinnis. Alex Sinnis guarded by Wennington. He drives for the basket, and he drives any offensive charge on David Russell. Russell seized the advantage, seeing that Alex Sinnis was driving, decided to step in front of him, took his time, and Chuck plowed him over. An offensive foul, 52-52. St. John's has the ball with 1:18 to go.
And Alex Sinnis, after he went in, you should have seen Norman Bailey's reaction. He was so upset, he stomped on the ground and wonders, what are we doing here? They had the ball, they had a chance to take the lead here with about 75 seconds to go, exactly 78 seconds to go. But now St. John's might hold on for the last shot, Harold.
We're going to see exactly what head coach Lou Carnesecca is going to do. 2 timeouts for each team. Both teams over the limit. Chris Mullen has the ball. Now they are going to hold out. The Huskies playing 2-3 zone. And right now Chris Mullen bouncing it over to Bob Kelly. There's 4 Redmen around the perimeter, and they're passing it back and forth. 57 seconds ago, Don Perno starting to match up players man-to-man.
They're going to wait a little while until the officials give them that warning to come out, and then I think they'll come out.
This is Bob Kelly, and no one is on Kelly as of yet. Now he dribbles the ball. They're counting out 5 seconds, and pretty soon it was almost a 5. Back to Kelly, 36 to go. Kelly back over to Russell, 33 to go. They're passing it back and forth. Yes, St. John's is going to go for the last shot. The Huskies are not playing the defense. They're going to sit back. They're going to see what St. John's can do, and now they're going to call a timeout with 22 seconds to go in this basketball game. Holy cow, the time is running out on Connecticut. The time is running out in the game with 22 seconds to go. It's Connecticut 52 and St. John's 52.
St. John's found themselves in this position on February 10th, a little over 3 weeks ago, where they had a tie score at 74, I believe, or 72. And after Chuck Alexis missed the second shot, and they called timeout with about this much time left and took a last shot, and it was a very bad one put up by Goodman from the corner as the UConn Husky defense was strong down the last few seconds, and it's going to have to be strong again. Bruce Kaczynski will come in to the lineup, and he might replace Alex Innes. Then again, he might replace one of the small guards.
Connecticut, if they win, will be playing tomorrow at 9 o'clock. Airtime 8:55 on the sound alternative. And the Connecticut Husky mascot is running around with the St. John's Redmen's headdress as he stole it from them for just a second. But as we said, the winners today, Villanova 88-73 over Seton Hall. They'll be playing Boston College, who won 94-92 in a thriller. They were down by 8 with almost 2 minutes to go. They came back and won it. And of course, Georgetown over Providence 62-48. All the Big East action you ever wanted to see here at the Hartford Civic Center.
Should the Huskies go on and win this game tied with 22 seconds to go, we'll have information on how to get tickets for tomorrow night's semifinal round after our wrap-up. It'll be another lottery-type thing, just as they went through last Monday, and only 120 people showed up for 240 tickets of the 350 that were allowed. In fact, the lottery was not even needed on Monday for tonight's game. The interest was not that great, but you can bet if the Huskies win tonight that the people will be lined up there for the lottery at 12 noon at the Fieldhouse tomorrow, and then the tickets will go on sale at 1 when your lottery number is called.
Okay, let's set it up. 22 seconds to go. It's Connecticut 52, St. John's 52. St. John's has the ball in front of their own bench, and Bob Kelly quickly inbounds it over to Billy Goodwin. The Huskies have led throughout this game. Only 2 or 3 times St. John's has taken the lead. The biggest has been 2. 14 seconds to go. Russell has the ball. 12 seconds. Russell gets it over to Goodwin. Left side to Kelly. 9 seconds to go. Kelly drives the middle. Bounce pass right side to Mullen. Mullen from deep. 4 seconds. Bye! 3, 2, and a timeout on the court with 2 seconds to go. Mullen hit from deep in the right corner, and St. John's has taken a 2-point lead, and the crowd is stunned. They can't believe it. Mullen, incredible, with the pressure. The freshman in the corner, and he put up the running one-hander, and he scored a shot from 18 feet out. And for him on the evening, it is his 15th point.
Well, Connecticut has 2 seconds, so inbound the ball under their own get that ball down court. Now Syracuse took the ball out after Dwan Chandler's jump shot with 3 seconds left went in. Syracuse immediately inbounded the ball, and Eric Sanford got off a 20-footer with 1 second to go. It appeared to me that he got the jumper off. He traveled before the shot went in. That would have tied the game right back. So 2 seconds is enough, and that could be almost 3 seconds the way these clocks run.
If the Huskies lose this game, this will probably be the last game for the Connecticut seniors. Corey Thompson, Mike McKay, and Chuck Alexis, along with Jimmy Sullivan. We heard rumors that they had to win 1 out of those last 2 regular season games to qualify for the NIT. Well, as we all know, they lost to Villanova and they lost to Georgetown, and now they're playing first-round action in the Big East. 17 wins will not get them into the NIT. 18 wins at least will have to get them in the NIT, and if they lose 10 and win 17, we could possibly say this is the last Connecticut basketball broadcast. They have 2 seconds to tie it up, make it a miracle, and put it into overtime. They decided not to play defense when St. John's had the ball for the last 40 seconds. They decided to sit back. St. John's took the ball to the hoop. Mullen for 18 connected. 54-52 with 2 seconds remaining, and Connecticut will have the ball right underneath the St. John's basket.
St. John's will have in the lineup Russell, also Ron Stewart, Mullen, Goodwin, and Wennington. So very tall lineup in there except for Mullen. And let's see what happens. Hobbs and Bailey are near midcourt. Thompson will take it out. Alex Sinnis and McKay are towards the basket. And here's the inbounds play. Thompson can go up and down the lane. Here we go.
Courtney Thompson trying to throw it over Bill Wennington. He has 5 seconds, throws it deep down court to Alex Sinnis. Alex Sinnis calls timeout with 1 second left at half court. And that is the only timeout left for the Connecticut Huskies. And again, we will keep it right here. St. John's 54, Connecticut 52. 1 second remaining in this basketball game. And Connecticut will inbound it right in front of the scorer's table, right around half court. While we have this opportunity, let's take the time to thank a lot of people that have helped us out throughout all of the Connecticut basketball broadcasts, just in case this is the last Connecticut basketball broadcast. For one, let's take and thank the whole WHUS sports staff, Tony Savino, along with Pete Cavalier, Ben Palazzo back at the station right now, Tom Boland, keep me filled in.
Joe Tomaselli, Joe Dalton, and a host of others.
Mike Hallahan, Scotty Bell, and just everyone doing a fine job. Pete filling in a few times. Tony Savino doing a bang-up job with basketball and, of course, hockey.
I'd also like to thank the UConn Sports Information Department, Tim Talk and Associate Director Joe Saltis, Sports Information Director, and Tom Dodato, Jeff Wood of the Sports Information Department for making our job a little bit more helpful here with all the statistics that they give us.
I'd like to thank Ellen Bowen from the Southern New England Telephone Company. You don't hear much about Ellen, but she sets up all our telephone and radio lines on the road, and she's done a fine job keeping us on the air to bring you Connecticut Husky basketball action. Right now, there's 1 second. Here it is. This is the Connecticut basketball season. Bruce Kaczynski going to try to inbound it over Bill Wennington. Huskies with a set play. Kaczynski calls it out. Bounce pass to McKay. Turnaround jumper at the buzzer. No good. The season is over for the Connecticut Huskies. They lose the basketball game 54-52. They lose first round action in the Big East, and that is the game. The Husky crowd who came and saw the Huskies win and lead throughout most of this game fall to the St. John's Redmen. St. John's 54, Connecticut 52. To go over all the unofficial scoring statistics, here's Jeff Dobek.
Okay, Harold, look at the Connecticut scoring. Unofficial, as we mentioned, Mike McKay with 9, Carl Hobbs 8. He had none in the second half. Kaczynski 4, Blucher 1, Bailey 6. And the two big guns for UConn, the only in double figures, Courtney Thompson with 14, Chuck Alex Sinnis with 10. On the St. John's side, Bob Kelly had 2, David Russell 13, Chris Mullen 16, Billy Goodwin 14. So the big front line there, as Mullen was playing guard, they contributed 43 of the 54 points for St. John's. Wennington had 2, Ron Stewart had 2, make that Wennington 3, Stewart 2 for the St. John's Redmen, who win 54-52. It was tied at 41-41 with 10:26 to go, and it stayed tied and within 2 or 3 points both sides until it was 52-52 after Norman Bailey hit a 10-footer. That was with 2:23 to go, and we only saw 2 points scored after that. David Russell, a missed shot, and also an offensive foul on Billy Goodwin in that stretch as well. And Connecticut had a couple of chances, but Chuck Alex Sinnis charged with 1:18 to go. Carnesecca called the timeout with 22 seconds as they went for the last shot with 78 seconds to go. And Chris Mullen, an 18-footer from the corner, a tough jumper, swished through the nets with 2 seconds to go. Connecticut inbounded a long pass to midcourt. Alex Sinnis got it and called timeout. And Mike McKay had a shot from about the three-point line, so we'll make that a 23-foot, 9-inch shot, and it fell about a foot short of the rim. And Connecticut goes down to their 10th defeat and their 3rd defeat at the hands of the St. John's Redmen, and all 4 top seeds in the Big East tournament have advanced to the semifinals, Harold.
St. John's record up to 20-7, Connecticut 17-10, and as we said, this could possibly be the last Connecticut basketball broadcast, so let's get a few more thank yous in there. We'd like to thank Traveling Incorporated, our travel agency, who set up a lot of trips for us going down to Washington, over to Syracuse and Philadelphia. I'd like to thank Tom Weston of the athletic department and the whole athletic department for doing a fine job and helping us out with some of our other accommodations. I'd like to take this time to thank the staff of WHUS for letting us preempt them so many times to bring you Connecticut Husky basketball action on the Sound Alternative, especially tonight, and Castellano, who would have been on 7 to 10 on the Sound Alternative, and Susie Babisi's Public Affairs show that would have been on from 10 to 11. Let's take this time to thank Robin Tarby, who's been our statistician throughout the year, the sports information directors from the other schools, and let's also take this time to thank the players of the University of Connecticut basketball team and the players from all the opposing schools for putting on such an exciting season of Big East basketball. Huskies, for the first time in 4 years, failing to win 20. Of course, this is totally unofficial. The NIT pairings will come out on Sunday, but as we said earlier, the rumor was if Connecticut did not win 18 games, you would not see them in the NIT. So I guess that about wraps it up. Once again, the final score, the St. Johns Redmen 54, Connecticut 52. Thanks for listening to Connecticut Basketball Action on WHUS. Our next sports broadcast will be March 26th when the Connecticut Husky baseball team faces Rutgers. Our next men's basketball broadcast will be sometime later on this year in 1982, maybe December sometime. And we don't know who they're going to play or where, but hopefully another exciting season of Connecticut Husky basketball action brought to you by Tom Weston and Jeff Dobek. UConn Husky basketball, the sound alternative, has been made possible in part to very generous underwriting grants from Subway footlong sandwiches, Holiday Spirits, Husky's Restaurant, Nice Chow Incorporated, the Family Fashion Center, Teacher's Pet of Connecticut, Extra Mart Convenience Store, and fast food headquarters of Mansfield and Ted's Restaurant. Let's give a big thank you to all of them for helping us out throughout the whole year. WHUS Sports, subsidized by the undergraduate student government of the University of Connecticut. Our technical director has been Ben Palazzo. Our halftime guest was Tom Reynolds. So for Ben and Tom, and for my broadcast partner, Jeff Dobek, this is Harold Eric saying so long from the Hartford Civic Center. Connecticut Basketball is a WHUS Sports presentation. UConn Athletics, covered completely, extensively, and exclusively on WHUS Stores, the sound alternative.